devotee. My devotees know no one but me, and I know no one but them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is forever subordinate to his devotees. By pleasing his devotees, by loving and serving them, we attract Krishna consciousness more deeply than by any other act we can do in this world. Again and again, through his Leela, Krishna reveals how much he values those who serve his devotees. Not only values them, but how indebted he is to them. And we can think of the example of if you render a meaningful service to the beloved child of a mother, she becomes eternally grateful. She never forgets that. It changes the way she looks at you forever. And Krishna, being the perfect father and mother of his devotees, feels an even greater indebtedness. In the Leela of Lord Chaitanya, we find how he illustrated this principle in such a way that anyone who opens their heart to this pastime will get great realizations upon hearing it. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, who incarnated to teach the path of bhakti, to teach the path of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya served his spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. And everyone is always aspiring for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna is always aspiring for the service of his devotee. Therefore, one who serves the devotee renders the greatest pleasure to Krishna. Lord Chaitanya begged Ishvara Puri to give him instruction. And Ishvara Puri instructed him that the essence of life is not in becoming a great scholar of Vedanta, which Lord Chaitanya was, but instead in aspiring to become the servant of the devotees and in taking full shelter of the holy name. Ishvara Puri emphasized that this was the conclusion of all the Shastras, to learn how to love and serve the devotees of the Lord, to follow their instructions, and to always chant the holy names. Taking these instructions as his very life and soul, Lord Chaitanya began the Sankirtan movement, spreading the glories of the holy name and the glories of the devotees. In deep gratitude to his guru, he once traveled to Ishvara Puri's birthplace. And when he got there, he rolled in the dust, crying out, "Ishvara Puri, Ishvara Puri, Ishvara Puri." And such was his absorption in love of his spiritual master, he couldn't think of anything else. Although Lord Chaitanya was the greatest pundit of his time, although he was called Kavi, and we can look at the ISKCON, which he composed, and it's perfect Sanskrit poetry. The meter is perfect. The words he chose is perfect. The way he was able to communicate the deep teachings of Vedanta within just 4 lines of each verse is perfect. Yet, at the birthplace of his spiritual master, he couldn't form any words except the name of his beloved devotee. And there is an internal and external purpose to everything the Lord does. Internally, Lord Chaitanya could not stop chanting the name of his devotee who has surrendered his life to him. Because in that verse I shared, Krishna says, "I know nothing but them." That's the internal reason. But externally, Lord Chaitanya is showing us, all of us, the proper path of spiritual advancement. How much gratitude, love, and obedience one should have for their spiritual master, the pure devotee of the Lord. And to Lord Chaitanya, the dust from Ishvara Puri's birthplace was the most precious thing in the world. He collected it, and he carried it with him wherever he went. And he would tell people, "This is the greatest treasure of my life." So what made Ishvara Puri so dear to Lord Chaitanya? And the answer lies in Ishvara Puri's service to his own guru, Srila Madhavendra Puri. Srila Madhavendra Puri was a great, very advanced devotee of the Lord. In fact, an entire chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita is dedicated just to the life of Madhavendra Puri. And in that it's described he was a great preacher in the path of devotional service, and that he attracted the hearts of so many great personalities to take shelter of him. People like Lord Nityananda, who met him during his travels in Western India, Advaita Acharya, Paramananda Puri. But of all of Srila Madhavendra Puri's disciples, the one that was dearmost to him was Ishvara Puri. Why is this? When Srila Madhavendra Puri became very old, he was physically incapacitated. He was bedridden. So he would lie in his bed, unable to get up, and he was completely immersed in the ecstatic pangs of separation from Krishna. He would cry out, "O Lord of Mathura, why have you left me? Now that you have gone, what am I to do? Where am I to go?" He was crying out this prayer again and again. He was so immersed in this consciousness, and his body had become so old and feeble he could not sit up, he could not walk, he could not care for himself. Ishvara Puri accepted the position of the most menial servant of his Guru Dev. It's described in the Madhya Lila in the 8th chapter that Ishvara Puri, with his own hand, cleaned the urine and stool from his Guru's body. And he cared for him in his final days. He attended to his every bodily need, and seeing the pangs of his Guru's separation from Krishna, Ishvara Puri comforted his heart by singing prayers and kirtan to him. For months he performed this service, humbly and lovingly, without the slightest hesitation. Because of this unwavering dedication to Srila Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri won the heart of Krishna so completely that Krishna himself, appearing as Lord Chaitanya, surrendered at his feet and became his disciple. And this is the path laid out for us by Lord Gauranga. Trinadapi sunichena, toroiva sahishuna, to be humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, offering all respects unto others, and expecting nothing in return. It is by humbly and lovingly serving the devotees we attract the heart of Krishna, who then gives us the affinity to hear his glories and the thirst to taste the sweetness of his holy name. Kirtaniya Sadahari, only those who have become humble servants of the devotees are given the privilege of chanting Krishna's name constantly. This is not a privilege earned through scholarship or austerities. Krishna really doesn't care about that. It's only won through loving service. So Lord Chaitanya, through that beautiful pastime, gave us not only the importance of chanting the holy name as the Yuga Dharma of this age, but how to be in the proper consciousness to chant the holy name in this day and age by his own example. And there's one other great quality of Ishvara Puri that attracted Krishna. Not only was Ishvara Puri such an intimate, loving servant of his Guru, but he offered equally loving, menial, intimate service to all of his godbrothers. Because Ishvara Puri understood that if we neglect those who are dear to the Lord, our Gurudev and other Vaishnavas, then even our direct service to Krishna or to Guru will not please either of them. Actually, Madhavendra Puri gave Ishvara Puri this service of caring for him at the end of his life because Ishvara Puri had so pleased his spiritual master throughout his life by pleasing the other devotees in so many ways. So, Lord Chaitanya shows that this is the sum and substance of the path of bhakti. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayar Das Das Sanudas. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj shared that a senior godbrother told him, there are two types of devotees. One is exploitative and one is a servant. Those who are exploitative want to enjoy Krishna. They want to taste the ecstasies of Krishna, but they are not true Vaishnavas. He said a true Vaishnav is one who is aspiring to be enjoyed by Krishna, to be a servant, to carry out the order of Gurudev, to please, to love, and to serve the servants of the spiritual master. He said this is a real Vaishnav, and this is one who has really understood Krishna's heart. It's something to aspire for, that we should be in the mood of the servant. Not that we want to enjoy our Krishna consciousness, but we want to be enjoyed by Krishna through our service to his devotees. And it's the sweetness of the mood of the pure devotee we have all seen in our lives. And this is the life that Lord Chaitanya has taught us. And the Lord reveals himself only to those who have adopted this consciousness. Because remember, the Lord is non-different from his name. And the holy name only reveals himself to one who has adopted this humble consciousness. To serve means to please. And service is not rendered on our terms, but on the terms of those we serve. So when we adopt this menial, loving attitude, Krishna reveals himself, and the holy name will manifest fully in our hearts. And this is Krishna consciousness in essence. All of the higher realization, so-called higher realizations of ecstatic love, of Gopi Bhav, they are all naturally revealed in due course of time by one who's purified through the process that Lord Chaitanya has explicitly given us. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Madhya Lila, Lord Chaitanya instructs Sanatana Goswami on the science of devotional service. He outlines 64 items that are particularly favorable for the advancement on the path of devotion. Then he beautifully summarizes them, highlighting 5 as the most essential: chanting, hearing, deity worship, living in a holy place, and associating with devotees. While all 5 of these are supremely important, the essence of the essence is that last one, the association of devotees. Why? Because the other 4 depend on this association. We receive the mantra from the Vaishnava Guru, and the full benefit of chanting is realized through initiation from the spiritual master. There's certainly benefit in chanting without initiation, but our ultimate goal is Krishna Prem, pure love for Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada emphasized that to achieve this, the mantra must come through the Guru Parampara. We must receive their mercy. And it's in the association of devotees that we truly realize the glory and the power of the holy name. The Srimad Bhagavatam reveals that Krishna's teaching should only be heard from the lips of a devotee, not a non-devotee, because it's through such pure association that the entire process of Krishna consciousness is revealed. From the mouth of a devotee, the path of bhakti becomes clear, and the process of hearing transforms the heart. Worship of the deity is a science that is so precise, so sacred and ancient that it too can only be properly understood under the guidance of a devotee. And what about living in a holy place? Well, Srila Prabhupada explains that the real benefit lies in associating with the saintly people that reside there. In fact, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 10 is very famous, where Maharaj Yudhisthira tells Vidura, "My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage." In the purport of that verse, Prabhupada explains, the holy places all over the earth are meant for purifying the polluted consciousness of human beings by an atmosphere surcharged with the presence of the Lord's unalloyed devotees. If anyone visits a holy place, he must search out the pure devotees residing there, take lessons from them, apply such instructions in practical life, and thus prepare for the ultimate salvation, going back to Godhead. And this is my favorite part of the purport. To visit a holy place does not mean simply taking a bath in the Ganges or Yamuna or visiting temples. One must also seek representatives of Vidura, those with no other desire in life except to serve the personality of Godhead. Thus, we can understand that the association with devotees is the most vital aspect of spiritual advancement. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once said, "The search should not be for God. The search should be for one who can take you to God." This is very profound. When we wish to begin our spiritual life, should we look directly for God? No. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. More important than associating directly with God is associating with a devotee who can teach us about God, who can instruct us on the do's and the don'ts of devotional service. Even if we could meet God face to face, would we know what to do? There were many who had the association of Krishna 5,000 years ago, yet only a few truly understood him. And the scriptures remind us that the association of God's devotees is far more advantageous, for they teach us what pleases God and what displeases him. And that is a great science. And the definition of Uttama Bhakti is clear also. In Bhagavatam it states, Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma diyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. Devotional service must be free from all material desires and mental speculation and performed solely to please Krishna. But how do we know how to serve Krishna in the way he desires? By seeking the guidance of his devotees. Krishna himself says, one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee. But one who is the devotee of my devotee, they are my devotee. By associating with devotees, we imbibe the spirit of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada says in today's purport, you take on the qualities of that which you associate with. So if we lose the association of devotees, progress becomes difficult. As associating with and serving devotees, it's not just advantageous, it's essential for spiritual life. The association of devotees is so glorious that even Krishna himself hankers for it. Imagine if Krishna, in all his opulences, in full, desires the association of devotees, then how wonderful and valuable it must be for us. And what is the result of such association? The heart develops an affinity for hearing Krishna Katha. Krishna consciousness then becomes attractive. Consider Narada Muni. He was born as the son of a maidservant, a materially, to be considered, humble, low position. But when the Bhaktivedantas, the great sages, the pure devotees, stayed where his mother served, Narada had the immense fortune of taking the remnants of their food. Reflecting on that experience in Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, upon tasting the remnants of the food of those devotees, immediately the very nature of the transcendental became attractive to me. This is the transcendental mystery of associating with and serving the pure devotees. We're immensely fortunate to live among devotees, to serve them, and to receive their association. So in conclusion, I'll repeat that association with devotees is the foundation of spiritual life. By serving devotees with humility and sincerity, we attract Krishna's mercy and develop a deep taste for hearing and chanting his holy names. As Lord Chaitanya so perfectly demonstrated, the path of bhakti lies in becoming the servant of the Lord. That is what I have prepared. Please, I would like to hear your realizations or comments or questions. But I think we need a microphone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manjari Gopika, to give such a wonderful class and glorifying devotee, association of devotee. Actually, I would like to take this opportunity to show my gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada. Yesterday, I was reading about Ramanujacharya, where his disciple, Quraysh, he wanted to understand one verse from Bhagavad Gita, Sarv Dharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam. I think the other one.
1866.
Yeah, this is the one. So Ramanujacharya asked him to beg door to door for 1 month and then come back to reveal this verse. And I was realizing that how fortunate we are that Prabhupada did not put any such condition on us, and he freely gave all 700 verses with his full realization. So it took me like, oh my God. We are so fortunate in the association of Srila Prabhupada, and especially his books.
Yes.
All Chaitanya Chaitamrita, so valuable book, and Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita.
You are so right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Srila
Wow.
Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Last week or so, the temple president was telling somebody that they couldn't come to the temple. And this happens to people over time. So I was wondering how somebody can get the association of devotees when the devotees won't give them their association.
Sure. I have heard it explained by the self-realized souls of this movement, and I can't identify. I think it might have been His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. I also believe I heard His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj say that if you have Prabhupada's books, you have the association of a pure devotee. These are not ordinary books, they're transcendental, and follows nicely as to what Ishri Kumari Devi just said, how grateful we should be. Everything is in Prabhupada's books, and they are living. And Prabhupada even said that, right? That he would never die. He lives through his books. So in that way, anyone and everyone can have his association. And that's why book distribution is so important. Hare Krishna. So.
Hare Krishna, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
I think it's kind of in line with what Prabhu was mentioning. Sometimes we hear that we don't want to be mosquitoes when we come close to our spiritual masters. You know, our association, how we associate is important. We don't want to be annoying. So when we are associating with devotees, sometimes we feel, okay, you know, I'm not in the right frame of mind. It's better for me to be somewhere else. You know, the fear of making offenses is always quite strong. So is there any guiding principle of, okay, like you said, it's better to associate with books versus in-person association? Is there any guiding principles you follow as to, okay, when is it better to just, you know, be by yourself with Prabhupada's books, or, you know, and when is it better to actually be with devotees in their physical presence? Or is there any guiding principles that you use?
Well, I'm sure it would probably depend upon the exact circumstance. You know, I'm a very foolish person. I do not have high intellect, so I am always, whenever I hear a pure devotee is coming, I make sure that I'm there. And I don't tend to care about offenses, because I only care about my own self and wanting to see them and be there and breathe the same air as them. But you're much more senior to me. I'm sure you actually have the answer to this question yourself. Gokulananda Prabhu, can you answer? You're going to have to repeat the question for him.
That was the best answer. But I was just thinking, my senior god brother Gaurang Prabhu used to always warn us. Being around a spiritual master is like being around a fire. That is one aspect. But because, why did he say that? Because we have a conditioning, most of us. As they say, right, the familiarity breeds contempt. So we have the conditioning to take the things for granted, and slowly, steadily, surely, we get into that mode of trying to judge spiritual master like an ordinary person, which will be a great offense. So in that sense, that statement is correct. But another god brother of mine, senior god brother, he always said this, and this applies in all situations at all times. So he said, our scriptures are not textual like others claim, the other isms. They are contextual. So everything has to be understood in proper context as per time, place, and situation. So same golden formula applies in this case as well. So if, as you said, when there is an opportunity, then we have to do the needful. Like Srila Prabhupada said, if spiritual master asks for, he says thirsty, he says he's thirsty, we are supposed to give him water and not milk. If you offer milk at that time, that is a disservice. So we have to do the needful. If there is a need of rendering service to the Vapu, physically rendering service, then one should be ready to render the service in that particular mood, humble submissive mood. And when there is no opportunity to render Vapu service, then Vani service is always available.
Thank you. Any other comments or reflections, realizations, corrections? Anything I left out that you would have said?
I also like the point that you made. Oh, by the way, thank you very much. I was listening to Bhakti Rasamrita Swami, and he mentioned this point. He said, anyone who sits on the Vyasasana has to simply repeat the words of the predecessors, acharyas, and not concoct anything. So, because it's Vyasasana, like coming in parampara of Vyasadeva. So, I know you prepared the class based on Radhanath Swami Indradumna Maharaj's class, so you simply repeated the words.
Yes.
That's nice. So in the class, I liked the point you spoke about or repeated, the point where there are 5 potent items of devotional service out of 64 discussed. And one of those was deity worship, residing in the holy place, like Mathura Vas.
Yeah.
The point that you mentioned about Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, the holy place basically means the essence of visiting the holy place is to associate with the devotee, seeking the association of great souls. Thank you for reminding. I like that point.
Yeah, how many of us felt called out when we heard the part of the purport where Prabhupada said, visiting a holy place is not just bathing in the Ganges or the Yamuna or visiting temples. You have to seek the association of the Lord's servants who reside there. It's like, oh yeah, good reminder. Prabhu, do you have anything?
No, I was just thinking about that. The holy places wherever there are sadhus, and we have to seek the sadhus out and render some humble service. And perhaps according to our individual capacities, we all have individual tendencies, and we all have individual talents. So somehow dovetail whatever natural propensities or talents we have in a favorable way towards serving the devotees, and in that meek and humble way, we might actually develop a taste for Krishna consciousness.
Yes, absolutely.
Amidst the torrent of the horrible material world that we're constantly reminded of.
Yes. And also, if we are not able to personally serve them, simply hearing is service, attending their lectures, chanting, like His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj was always so merciful when he would visit here, and the darshan room was always open, and you could just chant japa with him. That's also service.
Favorable association.
Yes. Vaishnav, you hear so many classes. Don't you have anything to say? Ajita Govinda Prabhu? Do you have anything?
But I really like the point about when we visit holy places. Like a couple of years back, I took my parents to Tirupati. So we go to the ISKCON temple there. That's where we usually stay. But they're so eager to just go up and take darshan of Lord Balaji. But then somehow I got this intelligence to play one of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj's lectures when we were driving. So they really appreciated that. And then I told, of course I didn't tell them that if you don't take association of devotees, you're like an ass or a cow. But I just kindly mentioned that. But after they heard Maharaj's, I think Maharaj has given so many nice talks about the acharyas of the Sri Vaishnavas. So some of those pastimes are like so sweet. So I happened to play one of them and they were appreciating that.
That's wonderful. It's very intelligent of you and very loving. Sure. Yeah, I can send that to you. Yeah. Is there any parting thoughts? All right then. Thank you very much for your kind participation. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Power button, yes. Bye.